Hey, hey, hey. You know what time it is.
Time for the Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast.
That's right. And I'm your host, the late bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlan Brown. And Harlan Brown, what's up, what's up, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you
Man,
doing?
it's another week getting closer to that day.
I know the big day's approaching.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is.
I've been just thinking about some things. I'm just thinking about relationships, and I'm thinking about how a lot of times people allow negativity to come into what they're thinking, and a lot of people miss out on a person that they could be with just because they let the negativity come in instead of keeping that positivity going. They let that negativity come in, and then they what happened? you
No,
know?
it's true. Especially around this time of year. I think that we compile, especially people who are, more mature, older, who have had their seasons of Christmases and holiday traditions and things that may have changed. I think that a lot of times we get caught up in the expectation of what we think things are supposed to be, and not in a and we let that we start feeding into the things that are not present, right, instead of
Yeah,
looking at the things that we have, right. And
yeah,
I think a lot of times when we do that, that is I mean, I'm a true believer, like, if you don't keep it positive on what you have, then the enemy can take you down a spiral of all of the things that you don't have, and then you get back to, that's why I don't, that's why I don't, that's why I don't, and that's why I
yeah,
shouldn't, and that's why I can't, and
yeah,
that's why I won't, and that's
yeah,
why I'm only going to do this, and that's why I'm limited in this.
yeah,
Every time you have that thought pattern, every time you have that thought process, every time you think that way, or you are building up a story in your head. Oh, you know why he didn't call me back? Because he probably doing so and so and so and so. Or this is
yeah,
probably happening so and so and so.
yeah,
Every time you create them stories in your head, those
yeah.
nine times, they're never real because you created them.
Because you created
Okay.
it.
And the second thing is, you are spiraling now into a cesspool of negativity that by the time the person does reach out or the person does get to you, you already just like, what?
Yeah.
You have had a
No,
whole
you're like,
dance
yo, you know
with the
what?
devil.
I'm good. I'm good. It ain't working. I'm good, whatever. And a lot of times that's because it's so, and I never thought about this. This is almost probably 20, 30 years ago. A person came to me and said, and we was just talking, and he says, it's much easier to walk away from a relationship than it is to work through it.
Yeah.
And we always look for the easy way out. And when you allow people or you allow yourself to have those negative thoughts to come through your head and just come through all your body, be like, well, nah, you finding all the reason why this he or she is not the right person for you, then you've already excuse me, you've already lost. You've
Yeah.
already put it in your head, and now it's not easy to get out of it because now you put it into practice where you believe it so much that, yeah, you're right. He ain't doing this. He didn't call me. She didn't do this. She didn't text me. She just did this and whatever. And I'm not having that because that happened to me before, and I can see where this is going. And you just lose it, and you just allow that to take over what you believe or thought that you were getting to know a good person. So we're gonna call this podcast "Protect Your Positivity." And all protect your positivity because you
Protect
have
you.
to.
You
You
really
have to.
do. You
You
really
know
do.
what? We got so caught up with everything is instant that we don't want to work at anything anymore. And the
No.
first sign of adversity, when you see a person doing this or that, like, oh no, well, nah, you're not the person for me. Thank you, but no, thank you. You're nice, but you're not the person for me. And it's cool. I mean, that's where you want to go with it. That's fine. I can't tell you to stay. I can't tell you what happened in your relationship. I can't tell what you can tolerate and what you won't tolerate. But I know that you can put things in your mind to assist you in making that decision easier and quicker for you, rather than sitting back assessing and saying, okay, what did I have to do in this? In this, and how can we continue to talk and maybe get some understanding on what's going on about this getting to know somebody or being in a relationship, as opposed to I'm good, I'm out. And then it's not you, it's me.
Right. So how many times you're going to get with somebody and like them and then quit, right? And then start all over again and then be frustrated with the person you're starting all over again with because you quit the last one. And that's when all of the won't do's come in, right? Well, you know what? I'm not doing that again because I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And but see, the thing is, when we do that, we're not allowing people to get close enough to us to even get to know us. We're not allowing the person to be who they are. We are putting them in a box. And so that's why it's really easy to get rid of them, because you already started with your list. So if this person is not checking off anything in my brain of things that they supposed to have, oh, you know what? She seemed a little, she don't answer me when I want her to answer me. She doesn't do, because you didn't get a chance to know who she was. Maybe maybe she's not quick-witted or quick responsive, but she does have a response and she has something to say, but you didn't take time to hear it because it wasn't quick enough for you. And that's the issue. You're focusing on you. You've focused on yourself without ever considering the person that you're talking to and giving them an opportunity just to be there.
Like, it's a timeline. Oh, in 3 weeks, if you don't adhere to consistency and this and that and all that, and I always say consistency because that seems to be the new buzzword for relationships. You're not consistent enough for me. You're so inconsistent because when you're not really thinking about it, you had inconsistency, what you thought was inconsistency in your past relationship, but it was just a lack of being able to communicate.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna just put this out there for you. I mean, I got just a month to show you I can communicate, or do I have time to figure out how to communicate with you so that it can be better? Because my communication has been with others and I never met anybody like you. Now I know that my communication style or my way I communicate has to be a little bit different, just because of how we can get to understand each other. And that might take time, but I don't get that time to make that happen.
I think, and I can only speak for how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I think that when you meet someone and you are getting to know someone, you give that person all the grace that you can give them in the beginning processes of understanding, because I don't know you. So I need to understand like how you communicate, what's good, like what is it that that you feel is, adequate communication. Do I need to talk to you every day? Do I need to talk to you every other day? Like what is it that you like? And that only comes through communication. That's only going to come through communication. What I will say is this: don't start something that you're not going to finish, and don't do something just because, and then don't do it again and then drop it, because then that makes the person feel like apparently the person wasn't really into me. And then you have that love bombing thing that everybody talks about. Oh, you're going to do everything up front and make me feel like I'm wanted. And then after, I'm just like, okay, I submit. And then it's just like, yeah, that's cool. With the consistency, with the learning of someone, it takes a while to get to know someone. And even if I gave you a month or 2 months, and it may be in that third month that we finally realize that, hey,
let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. It doesn't take a while for you to get to know someone. It
have
depends.
how to communicate with them, I say.
Everybody's different. And I
Right.
think that's what people are not understanding. That, like, you know, I have kids. One child gets it in one turn. Another child gets it in two. Another child gets it in 30. You know what I mean? But they eventually get it.
Right.
But it's on their time. And that's the same thing with relationships. You put people in a box to get it, to want to get to know a person when in the time frame you want to get to know the person. And that, okay, I'm comfortable and I'm knowing you, but wait a minute, you still don't know me? Like, what's going on? It
Right.
takes time. Everybody's in a different place. And then you know what's the negativity part that comes in? Well, because it takes you so longer, then you're not the person for me.
And that's the problem. Then that's definitely somebody who's definitely impatient, who already decided this is what, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is not what you're trying to do, and I don't know. And I think all of that comes from like confusion of not being able to have the conversation about what it is that you want to do, or even if you want to do that, right? Having real conversations about next steps, or if there are next steps, or if there's going to be anything. I think a lot of people put out there, well, this is what I want, and then realize that maybe this is not what you want because you're not willing to put in the work. So you have to understand if you're really willing to put in the work for this, because if you're not, then that's understandable. But don't say, this is what I want, and then you get with this person, and then it's like we were talking about before, you keep raising the bar because now I want him to be something else, or not. Like, you don't manipulate people and make them your puppets. If you want to be with the person, please just be with the person. Like, you gotta like the person. If you don't like the person as they are when you met them, you're not going to change them. They're going to be who they are. Right. So that's the part that you need to understand first and foremost. I am what I am. That's it. So I mean,
but
how
how
many ways can I adjust that?
Yeah, you gotta look at it from this. There was something that attracted you together. You've had conversations and you've been talking, so you know that there's something that you like about the person. But you allow your negativity to seep in when things don't go your way, because and it's not so much that if the person is a bad person, it's that you don't understand how they roll. And you have to meet people where they are and continue to talk. And people think, here's the thing, and this is how the negativity gets in your way. People think, we've had the conversation already and you letting me know how you roll, and then you do something similar that we already talked about. So now you're not listening or paying attention. You're just whatever. It's not that all the time. It's a person is in a habit, has had this habit for a long time. It takes a while to break the habit in order for you to mesh with somebody else. It's crazy because I remember I let negativity seep into when I first met somebody. I was writing them. We were writing each other back and forth in college. It was cool. Hey, I'm this. I want to meet you. Never met them. And finally went out on a date with them. And it was the worst date ever. And I vowed never to talk to them again because it was horrible. But the things that what I thought about as I was over Christmas break is, first of all, we went to a midnight movie. Okay. Just coming back, both of us just coming back from a long road trip from college and not having a lot of sleep and deciding to go out on this date, picking her up 10 o'clock, movie starts at 12, wanting to get some dinner, and then whatever. It's late. It's been a long day. You're irritated. And I never put all that together. So anything is just going to trigger you like, and it was horrible. But I had to go back and think and say, you know what? That person really wasn't that bad. She was beautiful. She was a great person. I loved the conversations that we had. I loved the writing that we had. Let me give this person another try. And let's do it in circumstances where it's more conducive for both of us. And I think people don't want to put that reset in there when they see something. They don't want to put the reset in there because they allow that negativity and the enemy coming in, because the enemy is going to pounce on that. That's a segue to our our scripture. So the scripture we have for today is John 10:10. And can you read that for the audience there, Harlem Brown?
Absolutely. The thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly.
Exactly. So when you have negative forces working against you, and think about what I'm saying, and it's not me, this is just nature of where life is. When you have negative forces working against you, they're going for the jugular. They don't want you to be happy at all. So they come to steal, kill, and destroy everything that you might like about that person. They're giving you every negative point to say, nah, he ain't that. She ain't that. She is never going to be that. This is who that person is. There's no grace. There's no mercy. Leave her. Leave him. Don't go forward. Stop. 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 That's how they come. They come for the jugular. Yep. But if you allow God to come into your relationship and you talk to him about it first, say, God, listen, I met a really good guy. I met a really good girl. Please just give me some understanding of what they are. Some of the things that they're doing, I don't really agree with, but please let me know that I have something. So God will tell you, I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly, which means that I'm going to give you everything that is of good, that is of positivity, that is of good nature, everything. So be careful, and I'm going to put it up here again. Protect your positivity, because when you have negativity, you're going to get this. John 10:10, where that thief comes in to steal, kill, and destroy, because they don't want you to be happy. Misery loves company.
Yep.
And the first sign of adversity with somebody you're trying to get to know, or somebody you're getting, that's the issue. You're trying to get to know them. That's why you're stuck in the same place. But when you actually get to know them, your places have limited possibilities. You know what I mean? Unlimited possibilities. You know what I mean? And I say that at the end of all of my podcasts because it's true. People try to get to know people when they should actually get to know people. Because
I think that goes both ways though. So you have to realize that people do want to get to know people, but some people don't allow that flow. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are hesitant in saying, well, I don't know if this is what I want. I don't know, like, why should I get to know this? But I want to say this, at the bare minimum, if you want to get to know somebody, allow them to get to know you. And then you can make that decision after that. Stop stepping into relationships in fear and with already or with pre,
negativity. Preconceived notions, and adults.
It's just it's so frustrating because you see good people all the time just blocking their blessings because you won't even take the opportunity to say, okay, you know what? This person, like the person is just trying to get to know you. They're not saying, hey, could we get married tomorrow? They're just saying, could we get to know each other? I don't know. I cannot predict the future to tell you what it is. I'm just saying I'm willing to get to know you. And I want to know you. So give the person, and if you're not into that, like I don't want to get to know anybody, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you don't even give it an opportunity or give the person a chance to get to know you, because a lot of times people think, oh, you try to get to know somebody and the person who you're trying to get to know is so eager to get to know you back. That's not necessarily the
That's not
case.
necessarily true, right?
So you got to look at it on both sides. Like, weigh what it is that you want. And I'm gonna say this: what harm is going to come out of getting to know someone? What harm could
None.
possibly come to you if you would let your guards down, put that fear to the
Yes.
side,
Yes.
dump it,
Yes.
pray about it. You have to pray about it every time you answer the phone. Lord,
Anyway.
just give me the
Yes.
words to say, or
Yes.
let me be open to hear what somebody else is telling me, because
And
I
let me ask
think
you a
that
question.
is it.
But a lot of people look at that as negative too. Like, oh, I got to pray every time I talk to this person.
That's not
That's a
negative.
good thing. That's
If
a
you
great thing. You should pray, even if it was a positive approach to you talking to that person. You should pray to say, God, you know what? Thank you for sending me this person. Please give me the words to say. Please be in the midst of this conversation, because I really like this person, and I know it's up to you to whether we're going to be together or not, but whatever. But a lot of times we shut it off where you can't even be friends. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with you at all. Don't call me. Don't this and that. And you know what that's from? I say this.
Yeah.
That's a defense mechanism, because truly in your heart, you really like that person, and you're really afraid to what if it really worked?
It's fear. What is that poem that guy always? It's a poem that I used to read all the time, and we used to give it to kids all the time. But it's not the fear of not succeeding, it's the fear of success, right?
Yes.
So why are you so afraid? Why do you pray for things that you're afraid to have? Like,
Yes.
I think sometimes we need to pray and ask God to give us the courage for the blessings that he's blessing us with, because
Yes.
we don't even have the courage to accept the blessing. We're asking for blessings. God is looking at us. God is love. He's
Yes.
sending people who is like, come on, we know the people who are genuine when we meet them, and who are just showing us love, opposed to the people who just trying to get with us, right? So
Yes.
let's be honest with what we want. Let's be honest with what we see in front of us. Let's pray about it, because when we pray about it, that's not a negative thing. That's a part of your healing. That's God saying, how much faith do you have in me in this situation? Are you going to trust me, or are you going to shrink in fear and continuously pray that same prayer, them same prayers that you keep praying,
Right.
and not give me and not even, I'm giving them to you. I keep giving them to you, and you keep saying, fear will keep you in the same place as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
stop.
So yeah, I know our time is up. I'm gonna give you the last words. Oh, I'm gonna say this before I give you the last words. I'm gonna say this: negativity will always be in the midst of you getting to know somebody.
Mhm.
It'll be in the midst of you started the relationship. It'll be in the midst of you a year or two in the relationship. It'll be in the midst in 6 months in the relationship, a year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It'll be in the midst when you decide to get married. It's you protecting your positivity is how you're going to combat how your relationship goes. And the only way that you can protect your positivity is giving that negativity to God, praying to God about your relationship to say, please protect this relationship from all hurt, harm, and danger. Please protect this relationship for someone planning some negativity about my partner, and I believe it and I let it spiral down where it becomes the truth when it really isn't the truth. Please give me the strength to understand and communicate with that person and get a full communication with it, not one conversation and just say, oh, you're not who I'm supposed to be with. Bye. No, God will give you that sign. And a lot of times we take the sign of the first thing of adversity and we think that's God talking to us saying, oh, that's not the person for you, knowing that the person is that person for you, and you're blocking the blessings to have that person with you. So protect your positivity at all costs. Now I'm gonna give you the last words because I know our time is up. We go way over, but I love this topic because a lot of times we let that negativity seep in and it becomes who we are. and we miss out on a lot of good things. So any last words, Harlem Brown?
Next time you experience negativity or thoughts or those thought processes when you're in a relationship or you're growing in a relationship or anything that has to do with anything, I'm going to say this. That negativity is just fear. Why don't you sit back and ask yourself, what are you so afraid of? What is the worst case scenario? It's not going to happen, because that's what you're looking at. When you get involved in all of the negative talk and chatter, you're looking at the worst case scenario, and then this will happen, and then you're building it. How about let that fear go? How about say, God, take away this fear? Why am I so fearful? They apparently, well, I guess I'm an opposite person, because I get to the point where I can get really fearful and be like, okay, so this must be a good thing. So you're just trying to block this, right? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
keep pushing forward anyway.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but at the end of the day, look, don't let fear block your blessings. Don't let doubt block your blessings. When when you don't understand, ask. And that's how you get through. And you don't have to worry about that anymore. And
Right.
that fear shouldn't consume you. Don't let negativity and fear consume you. That's my last word.
There it is. And as we end on our podcast, trying to do something will keep you in your same place. But when you actually do something, your place has no limitation. I am your host, Alay Bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlem Brown. Protect your positivity. And we'll
Always.
see you next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.